Welcome into Hockey Sense, everybody. Brought to you by First Community. Great to have you with us. We go year-round here on Hockey Sense. Each and every week here, live from Half Coast Studios. It's very hot outside. Way too hot. Looking forward to getting on vacation. That's where I'm headed after today. So, I always like full disclosure. We're recording this on a Wednesday. Typically, this show is released on a Friday. So if something were to go down between now and Friday, it will not make this episode of Hockey Sense. But nonetheless, it's great to be with you. Shane Vansaghi is going to join us today. We like to hit hockey at all different levels. St. Louis hockey for sure. And Vansaghi, listen, I've known him for a long time. Recent draft pick in the second round of the Philadelphia Flyers. Played the last couple of years at the U.S. program, then last season at Michigan State. Always been a big kid, lots of potential. And obviously the Flyers are high on him. So we'll talk to Shane Vansaghi coming up later on in the show. I'm just leaving an ice rink just now. That's why I've got the sweatshirt on. And it's so hot outside, but it's so cold inside these rinks. Just crazy. I was in Vegas last week. I got to give a shout out to the Vegas Golden Knight fans and just the Vegas organization in general. I mean, their practice facilities are absolutely incredible. And, we're seeing that now throughout the league. If you don't have a good practice facility, you're just not going to be able to attract good players. At least certainly it's going to be a challenge to do so. Vegas has so much to offer. Being out in that Summerlin area, obviously a great lifestyle, great place to live, but their rink is unreal, much like the one you have here in St. Louis as well. Florida has recently built a brand new practice facility. Utah's got an incredible practice facility that is expected to be done sometime around training camp. Just before training camp, potentially. So Utah, so much positivity happening out of the Salt Lake area. So there's your update on practice facilities. But Vegas is incredible. As you would expect. I mean, everything they do kind of is big over there in Vegas. Speaking of big, the Blues schedule was announced today. It was announced for all teams across the board in the NHL, and people are looking at different dates. Hey, when's Jonathan Toews going back to Chicago for the first time? When does Nikolai Ehlers return to Winnipeg? You see a lot of that. Evander Kane, when's he going back to Edmonton? So, listen, go through the schedules and see what interests you. In terms of the Blues, for the sake of this particular show, they start off with a lot of home games in the first month of the season. And, obviously they make up for it later on in the season. But in terms of right off the bat, they get some home cooking, which is great. So they start the season October 9th. That's the first game of the year at home against Minnesota before they hit the road for a couple of games. Only 4 road games in the month of November. So again, that'll pick up later on. You got a big break coming up in February. The 6th through the 24th are off for Olympic hockey. So enjoy the Olympic action. You got that happening. Season's going to end in late April. April 16th, they're at Utah. So that's where they finish the season. So I expect a good year for the Blues this year. Obviously, coming off of last season, making the playoffs, they should, feed off of that momentum. Couple of things before we get to Shane that I want to get to. Justin Carbonneau, he announced he's going back to his junior team with the Quebec League. We kind of got wind of that a couple of weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago. I talked to Justin about this when he was here for prospect camp. And, he mentioned how the team was expected to be good. They got a bunch of players that are going to, make them very competitive. New players that they've added to the roster. He's never won before. I think he probably have a chance to win at Boston College as well. But he's an interesting case. I think more interesting than people expected him to be. He had such a good showing at development camp. He's such a big, stocky kid as it is, that I don't think the organization believes that he's that far off from playing in the NHL. Now, does that mean he's going to come to camp this year and make the team? No. But the positive thing about playing in the Quebec League this year and playing in the CHL is that you do get to see him in training camp. If he was playing college, you wouldn't see him in training camp. So now he's going to get some preseason games. He'll get at least a game, maybe even more than that. We'll see how he does. And give him a chance to really make a first impression wearing a Blues uniform. The plan will be for him to go back to junior. I don't care how good he is in training camp. I don't see him doing enough to making the team, but who knows what that means at the end of the season. Who knows what that means moving into next year. It is interesting that next year every team can add a 19-year-old to the American League roster. And, he would be a candidate for that for sure. And I would look at a guy like Adam Yurchek. He'd be a candidate too, although he's going to be 20, I guess, next year. So it wouldn't even matter for him. But, Yurchek's an interesting one too. I know he doesn't present a ton of flash in a 3-on-3 game that you see in development camp. But I've talked to people that are super high on him. You go back to the way that he played in the World Junior Championships, the hockey sense that he plays with, how dominant he was in that tournament this past year. I think people are still super excited about him. He might need some time in the American League. I think that's safe to say. He's not a guy that's just prepared to just walk into the NHL. He's had some injuries. So they want to see him get healthy. And but once he fills out, gets stronger, and I'll tell you a comparison. Just watching him play as a right-hand shot, for me, it's Alex Pietrangelo. And I don't know if he plays with the same type of physicality that maybe Pietrangelo plays with, or that same type of competitiveness. I think he does have that competitiveness. But if you remember when Pietrangelo first came to training camp with the Blues and when he first turned pro, he wasn't quite ready physically, right? I think they knew he wasn't ready. They sent him back a couple years in a row, which tells us he wasn't ready. And they weren't looking to start the clock on him back then anyway. But, he added a lot of strength. They just kind of remind me of each other just in terms of how they surgically perform on the ice. Just very smart, use their intelligence to their advantage. And their flash is more done with their brain than it is with, sick toe drags and sauce passes and whatnot, even though they have the ability to do all of that and then some, and they will. You'll see that from Urasek. The last show we were out of town last week too. I was in Vegas, like I said. We had Logan Mayu on. Great conversation with him. We got a lot of great feedback too. And we're trying to get Zach Bolduc to join us. Hopefully we'll get him on in the next couple of weeks here on Hockey Sense and just kind of, shoot the breeze with him. I'm just curious what he's thinking. I would imagine it's a great opportunity for he and his family to go play in Montreal. I think if you're going to get traded from St. Louis, which was obviously a great situation for him, he had a great season and, seemed to be a great fit with the head coach and the team here. And even talking to some of the veteran guys, man, they really respected this guy. They liked him an awful lot. Like, he fit in. As a young guy, he knew his seat on the bus. He came in, put his head down, and he worked every single day. So Montreal's getting a good player. We all know that. So I think that probably cushions or softens the blow a little bit for Bolduc to get traded, knowing that he's going to Montreal. As a French-Canadian kid, I would imagine that's got to be an exciting situation for him. So I wish Bolduc the best of luck, obviously, moving forward. And we'll see how that goes. Bo and Byram, there was so much talk about the Blues and Byram. I really think that kind of lost steam a while ago. I mean, I think you'd have to ask your question why this is the second organization that just can't get anything done with Byram. He's a talented player. There's a reason why he was a high draft pick, but he moved on from Colorado, and then now obviously he wants to move on from Buffalo. They're probably different situations. Probably just doesn't want to stay in Buffalo long term. I would imagine that's what that is. Colorado, maybe it was a little different scenario in terms of why they moved on from him. But for a guy that's who if you're going to negotiate an extension with him, he's going to want significant money. Now he gets a 2-year extension. Team filed for arbitration. This is going to walk him right up to free agency. And you have to think that at some point between now and the expiration of that contract, Bowen Byram's going to get moved from Buffalo. They're not just going to hang on to him and just let him walk for nothing. So I would imagine you'll still hear his name in trade rumors. Maybe not as much the rest of the summer, But moving into next season and then after that, Jordan Kyrou's name won't leave the trade rumors. I mean, everywhere I turn around, you can still see his name mentioned. I do think, listen, and I never rule out a trade with anybody. I can't sit here and tell you that Kyrou's not going to be traded. I've never felt like they were just actively shopping him and just looking to get rid of him. Unless they knew they had a player coming back the other way that was going to be able to either fill his spot. They just traded Bolduc, who's another winger. Like, you just can't get rid of all your wingers. You're going to need some players, obviously, who can put the puck in the net. And, Bolduc's a guy who could come out and score 25 this year. You just never know what he's going to do. So I never rule out a trade with a guy like Jordan Kyrou, but I just don't see it happening at this stage. His name is just, it's rumor city. Everywhere you turn around, you hear Jordan Kyrou's name being mentioned in trade rumors. This is just one of those situations, I think, where his name gets mentioned early. It just won't go away. He's got the no trade clause that kicks in now, so he's going to be able to have some say if he were to get moved. I just wouldn't bank on that. But I say caution. I say it with caution because you just never rule out a potential trade. The Blues added Pius Suter. Maybe I'm saying the first name wrong. I always call him Pius Suter. Pius Suter, I've heard him called too. What is it? Somebody let me know. Is it Pius? Is it Pius? What is it? Nonetheless, they like him. I think they believe that he's an upgrade defensively over some of the players they have at the center position. But he doesn't necessarily just completely fill the void that you're looking to fill at the second line center position. So when I say I never rule out a possible trade, although I've never seen a trade board this late into the offseason, I mean, people are just expecting a smorgasbord of trades coming up in the month of August. Maybe we'll see it. We don't typically see it. So if we do, and we're talking with like notable names, if we see this happen, this is certainly rare and unusual. But if the Blues could get their hands on a second line center, I feel like those conversations would continue. Because even though they added Suter, they didn't necessarily, I don't believe, that they feel that they have, filled the hole that they were hoping to fill in terms of what they're looking for in their lineup. He's a really good player. He can play the two, but he's more of a 3. But you still have Braden Shen here as well. But again, upgrade defensively. He can play with, players who can skate. I think he's shown that before. Like, I don't think there's any issue with Suter playing with Holloway and Kyrou in terms of being able to keep up and being able to play at that pace. He's a very smart player. Doesn't keep the puck on a stick very long. If you go watch highlights of him, he plays that give and go game. He's got some creativity in his game. He's very intelligent. He's going to be a good fit. He's going to be a good player. And I know people are thinking right now, well, he scored 25 goals last year. Well, listen, I had a scout tell me a long time ago, when you score 25 or 30 and it's a little above the projections or what the expectations were for that player, that's when they ask themselves, and as an organization, is he a 25-goal scorer or did he score 25 goals? Now, some of you say, well, he's both. And I would say that it's more probably the latter. I don't know if you expect 25 goals from Suter year in and year out, but he is a guy, obviously, that has shown that he can do it, and he's coming off a 25-goal season. I just don't think they're signing him to come in here and score 25. They know that's probably a little bit of a stretch, but you never know. I think Doug Armstrong pointed out his shooting percentage was around 18%. Usually that's unrealistic to expect that. We saw that with Jake Neighbors a few years ago when he scored 27, super high shooting percentage. Usually that isn't sustainable to maintain a high shooting percentage, and it kind of answers itself, or just kind of cancels it, itself out, I guess, moving forward beyond the first year, and gets back to the expectation level is what I'm trying to say. Now for Neighbors, listen, I don't know if that's a career high for him. He scored 27 a few years back. He got hurt down the stretch that season, didn't play the last handful of games. So is he a guy that can get to 30? Did he career it at 27? What is he from a goal scoring standpoint? Still came back and scored 20 plus last year, which I think was important for him to be able to do that. So I'm excited about this season. I will say this about the news with John Kelly. I know people are probably tuning in to hear if I have any opinion on it. And listen, it is what it is. Like it's the organization's decision, along with FanDuel. They go into kind of a new era, new chapter of a simulcast. I'm excited to work with Joey, to work with Chris Kerber. It's going to be exciting. We still have our producer and director, Phil Malika and Timmy Pabst. Malika being the director, Pabst being the producer. They're still coming back. I've known Curbs and I've known Joey for a long, long time. I know when Joey got hired on the radio side, I kind of recommended that the Blues look at him as a potential candidate. I had him on this show on Hockey Sense, and I thought he was great when he came on here. And so I'm looking forward to working with those guys. Love Jamie Rivers. John Kelly's been one of my close friends for years. He's been a mentor to me. I love his family. I've gotten to know his family very well. He knows my family knows his. It's those are tough things no matter what industry you're in, whenever you have a coworker that no longer is with you, who you work with for a long time. But again, these are decisions that are well above my pay grade. It's not even really for me to give my opinion on. John's had an unbelievable career. He's one of the best broadcasters in the league. If he wants to, which I think he does, he will land another job. I will say, and I think it's kind of out there, the Los Angeles Kings are looking for a broadcaster. I hope they really look at John Kelly as a potential hire. I think they are. I think he's got a lot of people, supporting him getting back into the league and getting another job. And so it wouldn't surprise me at all if John Kelly, found his way back into the NHL in a very short time. And I wish him the best of luck. He's one of the best people ever. And I'm looking forward to this new direction that the organization is going in as well. It's going to give me personally a bigger opportunity. I'm looking forward to getting back on the road. I haven't traveled with the team in quite some time prior to COVID. And, to be able to host post-game shows and do a lot of that and to kind of, expand my wings a little bit and get involved and do different things to impact the broadcast. I'm looking forward to that. I talked to Chris Pronger a couple of times now. I know he's excited about potentially getting involved. Bernie Federico, the Hall of Famer, who I've worked with forever. And then Jamie Rivers, who I know, obviously, and worked with him the last couple of years. And I've known Jamie since he was a player, covered him as a player. And so he and I always enjoy working together. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll have a great product for you. And the schedule came out today. The season is just around the corner. So I'm looking forward to what's to come with the St. Louis Blues broadcast. And we'll still have Hockey Sense for you each and every week, live from Half Coast Studios. Shane Vansaghi joining us in just a couple of minutes. Looking forward to that conversation. Don't forget, First Community brings us Hockey Sense each and every week. Man, there's so many different things we can do with First Community. They've got loans out the wazoo, man. They got so many different options for you. How about hot rates? Because it's so hot outside. First Community, hot rates this summer. If you got some money sitting around in a savings account or a cookie jar, maybe you have it under your mattress somewhere, you should invest it. With as little as $500, you can open up a certificate of deposit and earn a really competitive rate. Unlike most high-risk investments, your money is totally safe because it's guaranteed. So how nice is that, knowing that your money is guaranteed? This is not some high-risk investment. If you don't want to tie up your money, all you should consider is a money management account. The more you invest, the higher the rate. And there's no monthly service charge. Your money's completely accessible to you. So whatever you do something with your money that makes sense, make it work for you, and keep it safe. The team at First Community can answer all your questions. Check it out, firstcommunity.com. And we love having First Community as a title sponsor here on Hockey Sense. Also, Dirt Cheap Fun Fun, your one-stop party shop. Find the location nearest you. Download their app. Save some money. They've got so many unbelievable deals, they call them steals. That's how good the deals are over at Dirt Cheap. Find out a location that does curbside assistance, curbside pickup. They have drive-thrus. So you don't ever have to get out of your car. You can do your shopping from the app. How nice is that? You can just do the shopping from the app. And you don't have to get out of your car. Dirt Cheap Fun Fun, your one-stop party shop, baby. Lordo's Diamonds. Find that special someone, something special in your life over there at Lordo's Diamonds. Go say hi to Mike and Jimmy. Stop on in. Find out why they've been around for over 70 years, the best in the business. If you're looking to pop the question this summer, then you should do so and get that engagement ring from Lordo's Diamonds. And they specialize in everything, including engagement rings. You can walk in there with a $500 budget or a $500,000 budget, and they are going to find something that suits your needs and treat you exactly the same. That's what they do. 314-432-8008. 314-432-8008. LordosDiamonds.com, baby. Lordo's Diamonds. Blue Note Roofing. I should have brought my sign in here. I've got a sign now for Blue Note Roofing. David gave it to me yesterday. David Novak, 314-920-5713. Yeah, if you suffered storm damage, give him a call today. Let him come take care of you and give you that free estimate. Again, 314-920-5713. Blue Note Roofing, roofing, siding, gutters, soffit, fascia, whatever it is you're looking for, they'll help you out. Free estimate, work with all the big insurance companies. Plus, he'll talk pucks with you. I said it on the Chemistry podcast, man. David Novak, he's like our insider. He predicted the Blues would sign Pius Suter. He said, listen, that's my guy. That's what I want. And Doug Armstrong must have been listening to David Novak, a longtime season ticket holder, and also a longtime roofer in the St. Louis area, servicing all of Illinois as well. 314-920-5713. Give him a call. All right, Shane Vansaghi, the big boy, played at the National Team Development Program with USA Hockey. Last season, Michigan State. Grew up here in St. Louis, playing with the AAA Blues. He joins me next. Looking forward to this conversation. Shane Vansaghi joins me next year at Hockey Sense. Brought to you by First Community. Don't go anywhere. All right, Shane Vansaghi, just drafted in the second round by the Philadelphia Flyers. Congratulations, buddy. I mean, thanks for doing this and welcome into the show, man. How are you?
Well, thank you. First off, I'm doing well. It's been a busy summer for me. Like I've felt like I've kind of been all over the place, but I'm happy to be back here on campus at Michigan State. I'm happy to be drafted to Philly. Like that was a great experience there at the draft, and then I'm just looking forward to this year coming up.
Could you have predicted this for yourself, Shane? I mean, you just go back 4 or 5 years ago, 3 years ago even, it feels like. I mean, you're playing for the AAA Blues here in St. Louis, and all of a sudden here you are now entering your second year of college hockey. You're drafted into the NHL. Like, how much were you thinking about the NHL back when you were 13, 14, 15?
People ask me that all the time. Like, not a lot. Like, I think growing up, when I was playing, I was kind of just playing because I loved it. And that's how it's always been. And that's how it is now, to be honest with you. Like, I've always kind of just played because I love the game. And you just, as the, time goes on, you get opportunities. And, you kind of find out, like, you have a chance to get drafted. Like, the rankings come out and people talking, you see stuff. And, I don't know. I don't really focus on too much of that. I kind of just tried to keep playing, keep focusing on hockey, and just keep having fun. Like, it's a fun sport. Yeah, I basically do what I love for a living right now. So I just try and take it in every day. But yeah, I was playing for St. Louis there for the AAA Blues, like basically my whole career growing up. And probably, I always knew like I want to play in the NHL, and I maybe knew I had somewhat of a chance, but you never really realize, it doesn't really become a reality until, the draft comes and you're playing college hockey and you're doing well. And even then, like right now, it doesn't even feel real.
Okay, so I love how you say you keep it fun. You're still having fun, because I think that's so important. But, you move on, you go to the U.S. program, you get to college. I mean, you have the whole draft process. Like, how did you keep it fun? Because it can get so serious, and it's so serious even for the younger kids now. I've got a kid going through it, man. It's just so serious that sometimes fun becomes secondary, and you got to remind yourself that these kids need to have fun and truly fall in love with the game. Because if you don't love the game, man, it's tough to make it. So how have you been able to maintain that passion and love for it?
You're right. It's tough. Like throughout the course of a season, especially as you get older, just bad things happen. Like you go through the ups and downs. It's inevitable. Like you're going to go through those bad times, but at the end of the day, like you look at it, you're playing hockey every single day and you're playing a sport. Like you can't make it a job when it isn't. And I think even if it is a job, like don't look at it as it's a job. Like for me, it's like I went to the national program. Like that's a tough program. Like you're stepping into the USHL as a 16-year-old and you're playing against older guys, and it's just a tough it's tough 2 years. Like in your second year there, you're playing against college guys, so you're never really in your age group. You're always playing against older, stronger guys, and you're not really having a ton of success. Like you're just going through like you're having growing pains, right? And I think the biggest thing is you just have to like it's all about perspective. Like it's a you're playing hockey, and the reason why you started playing hockey is because you loved it. You know, every little kid gets on the ice and they play hockey, and they continue to play hockey throughout their young years because they love the sport. And I think if you can continue that and keep that love for the sport, I think it makes you a whole lot better player, and it's more fun. Like you just got to relax, and you can't put too much pressure on yourself. Like it's hard not to put pressure on yourself because everyone always looks at it as it's always a very serious game, and it's it can become a job, so it's very serious. And I don't know, at the end of the day, it's just a hockey, it's just a game, it's a sport, and you
Yeah.
just gotta love it and have fun.
How was your experience at the U.S. program? Because I've heard from different, some people absolutely love it. Some people say, man, it was so hard. I've seen kids who leave after the first year. And you're right, man, because a lot of these kids are used to being the best player on the team. You come in, you're putting up a point per game, you're scoring goals all the time. But now at 16, you are playing in the best junior league in the world. It can be a grind, right? So describe your experience there and what helped you get through it. How much did you enjoy being at the U.S. program?
I loved it. Like I think it was. I mean, just the fact that you're with your own age group and you grow so close to your teammates. Like I'm still very very close with just about everybody on that team, and I think that's what makes it special, and that's what you remember. But all in all, like the national program's hard, and I think it's good for you. Like it's good for kids to go there and to learn how to go through adversity. But I think like for me, yeah, everyone goes, everyone comes from being the best player on their team to you go to the national team and you're probably not the best player on that team. So I think that's the biggest shocker, but it's they have a great setup. Like they have all the tools, all the resources there to help you get better. And I think if you look at it from a mindset of you go there for 2 years and you try and develop your game and get better and mature as a person and player, I think that's the right perspective you need to go into it. And I think if you go into it with that perspective, you'll get the most out of it.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, so you just finished your first year at Michigan State. You guys had a great regular season. I was hoping we were going to see you at the Frozen Four here in St. Louis. Hobie Baker winner came from your team and everything with Isaac Howard. So, I mean, a real positive season for Michigan State. What was it that led you to Michigan State, and how happy are you made that decision? I was hoping you were going to do this interview, Shane, from your facilities, man. I want to see those facilities over there at Michigan State, man. So, how
Yeah.
much fun are you having playing college hockey and being in East Lansing?
I've had a lot of fun. Like my first year, it's one of the most fun years I've had playing hockey. There's everything here. Like the like brand new facilities make it over the top nice. And but just I think the biggest thing like about Michigan State is the environment that we have here, like with the staff and the players that we bring in, and kind of just that culture we have here at Michigan State. It's a little bit different. I think it's unique in the way we do things, but I think we're very like we're just a humble program. Like we work hard and we try and do things as hard as possible every single day and get better every single day. But originally, like growing up, like I had no idea. I didn't know if I was going to play college hockey or not. I didn't know where I wanted to play, and I went to the national team there in Plymouth. So it's only like an hour drive from here. And funny enough, Coach Nightingale was supposed to coach me at the national team.
Yeah.
And that summer when I was going into that team, he got the job at Michigan State. So I knew him a little bit from that, and I knew kind of he liked me as a player. And once I was able to talk to colleges, I don't know what it was. It was like after my first year at the program, I was able to talk to colleges, and Michigan State was one of those teams that reached out, and I took a visit here. And I was like, as soon as I stepped on campus, I knew that this was going to be probably the spot for me. Just to see the campus, the facilities, and to meet like the coaches and stuff was, I don't know, you could just you have that feeling. You step on the campus, you have that feeling. You know it's your school.
How's the transition going from the U.S. program to college? Like, was that a tougher jump or not as difficult of a jump as it was going from
Yeah.
playing, U16 hockey to go basically playing in the USHL?
Yeah, I think the hardest jump was U16 to USHL, in my opinion. I think the national team, like that program developed or kind of prepares you really well for college. Like your second year there, you're playing college games, and I think you play like 10 or so college games. So you kind of get used to it your 18s year at the national program, and then once you step into college hockey, you have a little like you kind of know what to expect a little bit, but it is different. Like you get into conference play and you're not playing exhibition games anymore at the NTDP. You're playing real like conference games in the Big Ten. So it is a little bit different. The intensity is higher, but I don't know. I mean, college is just, it's a smarter game. Like everyone's so smart and I think it's a lot more detailed. The guys are just, they're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster, but I think it's mainly just like the small details that you notice that make it a lot harder to like play in than the USHL.
Where's your favorite road campus to play on? Like where was it really like fun? Like just the environment, the atmosphere. Because I know you guys have a great one there at Michigan
Yeah,
State
yeah.
too.
I mean,
Where's it fun to play on the road at?
Minnesota was fun. I think they got like 10,000 seats in there, 10,000 capacity in there, but that's fun. Like that place gets loud. They got just like the big bowl, like that's their setup, and that's a fun place to play. Like their fans are passionate up there, but I think our place is pretty sweet. Penn State's place is pretty sweet. Like we played Penn State this year on Christmas break, so they didn't, so their students weren't at the game, but typically their student section and their fans are pretty rowdy, especially now, and that they got all those guys coming in this year. So Penn State, Minnesota, those Michigan's fun. Michigan, like Yost is a good. That's just a old school barn, and it gets loud in there. And I think maybe just because it's Michigan State, such a big rivalry, but anytime we go into Yost, it's pretty rowdy.
How's that Isaac Howard, man? I mentioned he won the Hobie, and I loved watching him play in the World Juniors a few years back too. Like and he's got that swag. I saw him at the draft a few years ago. He's had the white suit on. How was he as a teammate? Like, were you hoping he was going to come back? Obviously, and now with the trade, I would imagine he's going to end up playing with Edmonton this season. So that's a big loss. But give us the scouting report on him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we want him back. We kind of knew we probably wouldn't get him back after the season he had and the type of player that he is. We probably knew he's ready for the NHL. He's ready for that next step, but he's a great guy. He's such a good teammate, and you know what he does. He's got the swagger and he's got confidence to him. And I think that's what makes him good on the ice. But I think as a guy, like he's one of the best teammates I've had. Like he's one of those guys that he's just like fun to be around. Like he's just like he's one of those beauties that like everyone likes. Like it's hard not to like. I don't think anyone on our team didn't like him. Like we all liked him, and he's just a good guy. Like it's people, obviously I hear things about people think certain ways of him, but the thing is I think none of that's true. Like I think a lot of people look at his draft and maybe they think some negative things about him, but he's one of the best guys and one of the best teammates that I've had. So I loved playing with him last year and like being a part of that season and being part of a team with him. But he's a really good player. Like he's a big piece for us. So unfortunately we lost him. Kind of expected it, but I'm happy for him. Like I think Edmonton will be a good spot for him, and I'm excited to see like him playing NHL.
Your goalie's back though, right?
Yep.
Augustine, yeah.
Back. That's big for us, and we knew he was coming back, so that's kind of not really a surprise there. But he's the backbone of our team. Like he's kind of the foundation that you need as to be a good team and to make a run for the national championship, even the Big Ten championship. We need Trey back there and the pipes playing well.
So listen, when you play at Michigan State and it's the summer, like do you have access to as much ice as you want, and there's a whole workout program? I would imagine a bunch of guys are there who you're training with now, right?
Yep. Yeah, we got the whole team here. But yeah, the facilities are open pretty much all day. Like the ice is open. We got some summer camps for kids and stuff going on for the ice, but we pretty much got full access to the gym, full access to the ice, and just even our like lounge and our like, we have steam room, sauna, hot tub, cold tub. Like even that stuff is it's always open for us. And I know like there's always somebody there. Like we'll always be a group of guys chilling at the rink doing something. And it's just like the brand new facilities, it's awesome. Like I could live, at the rink. You have everything you need. So we're spoiled up here.
They still cook you meals and stuff like that during the summer or no?
Yeah, so we'll get during the season we get breakfast. We will cater in breakfast and cater in lunch, and then during the summer we just cater in lunch. But there's like the snack, the fridges and like the pantries are stocked full or seven. So anytime like
What's your go-to? What do you get grabbing out of the snack room there? Out of the
so
cabinet?
I don't know what they're called, but they got these like brownie thing. It's like I don't know, it's a just like a bar almost. And I think it's like dates and it's like a chocolate brownie and it's like the best. It's like a candy bar. It's so good. And then a big thing, like I feel like a lot of the guys, like even for like breakfast, they'll have like yogurts and like I don't know, they'll always have like ham or turkey sandwiches in there for us. Like there's always fruit, whether it's like watermelon, pine. In the summer, we're a watermelon team. Like we probably take down like 3 watermelons a week. But yeah, it's like I don't know, we're spoiled. We get everything we need. Anytime I'm like just bored sitting around my apartment, I'll just walk over to the rink. Like we have a great shooting room set up. I'll like shoot some pucks and then like go eat a snack or something. So
Hey, how often were you on the ice as a kid? Like in the summer? Like kids now, like they're training before school. Like, were you one of those? Were you doing that during the season?
oh no, I played baseball and hockey growing up. So like when I was in the off season, I was playing baseball and I would skate. I think once I got a little older, like into my like early teens, I was probably on the ice like at most twice a week in the summer, but I really wouldn't skate in the summer. I'd just play baseball and just like go swim at the pool. Like I don't know, I wasn't really one of those kids who would like when I was 10 years old, I was doing like 3 workouts a day and like only playing hockey. Like I was a baseball guy. I go like, practice my baseball in the summer and then in the winter and in the fall, I was playing hockey.
Were you a good baseball player? Like, could you have played D1 baseball or no?
Oh, I like to think I could, but I don't think so. I was good. Like I'm a good athlete. I maybe could. I would have played in high school and been good, but D1 probably not. I
You should
was.
go hit some balls with the Spartan baseball team.
Yeah, we've actually we've done that before. We've went out to the baseball field and hit balls with them last year, so that was fun. But yeah, I was I played first. I played everywhere, and I played first base, pitcher.
Shane, you got to be crushing balls like over the wall. Were you hitting home runs or what?
I was yeah, I was a strikeout or a home run. Like I had nothing in
One or the other.
yeah.
I love it. I love it. All right. So, and real quick before we move on to Philly, like your Hagen's, all these guys, man. I mean, you know all these kids like from the U.S. program. Like, how good of a player is Boston getting in Hagen's, James Hagen's? Like, and what was it like seeing some of your buddies get drafted too, man? I mean,
Yeah.
I've gone to the draft every year, Shane, until this year because it was decentralized. We were doing everything from St. Louis this season, so I didn't get to see. But I love to see all the players interact with one another and hang out and watch each other get drafted. So what was that like to see your buddies get drafted too?
It was awesome. Like everyone getting drafted there is like I was like super close with Hagen, super close with Hensler and those guys, but like Hagen's like he's so skilled. Like it's a different level of skill that he has, and he just sees the ice just differently than anybody else. Like, and he's always been a step ahead. Like when we were 15, walking into the national team, I could just tell he's like kind of just a step ahead of everybody else, and just the way he skates and like he's so good on his edges where you can think like he's got no play and he'll just like hit a quick turn and he'll open up like 3 or 4 different plays that he can make, and he just opens up a lot of time and space for himself with his skating and skill. But yeah, like that first round the draft was that was fun, like watching the Hagens get drafted, like and Hensler, like it's cool to see him. We've been through it all at the program together for 2 years, and then we all went off to college this past season, and finally the draft comes around for us because a lot of my NTDP teammates got drafted last summer, so we had to wait a year for our turn, and it was cool to see him get drafted.
Okay. Yeah, you're one of those, man, that had to wait. So like
Yeah,
your whole class, because your birthday, right? What are you
over.
October? Okay.
Yeah,
All right. So Philly, how many teams did you meet with at the combine? Like, did you meet with St. Louis too at the combine?
I did. Yeah, I met with 27 teams at the combine. It was a busy week for me. I had a lot of interviews. A lot of them went well. The majority of them were all pretty basic. Like I didn't get a whole lot of weird questions. I mean,
No.
I heard stuff flying around, but all my interviews are pretty much the same. Like, you kind of just talk about your year and talk about Michigan State and what your, strengths, weaknesses are, things like that. But yeah, like I talked to Philly. Like Philly was like one of my first teams I think they were the second interview I had at the combine. And um I had a really good interview with them. It seemed like when I left there, I kind of had a feel. It was like one of those teams where like, okay, like if they're in the range, and I'm still on the board and they're there and they're picking, like I feel like Philly could be a team that takes me. But um, like there's a few different teams like that. You don't know. Like there's so many trades happen on draft day and like different things happen. But I definitely felt like Philly was like one of those teams that really liked me.
So you go 48th overall. And are you looking at Philly on the board? Are you getting a little antsy, like waiting for your name to be called, or did you go kind of in the area in the
Yeah,
time frame where you thought you would?
yeah. I think I went in like the area that I was kind of projected in, that everyone kind of saw me going in. But I kind of knew like once day two started for the second round, I kind of knew that any pick could have been me. And there was a couple teams picking before Philly that they seemed like they had some interest in me. So I thought I'd go to those teams. Ended up didn't, not going. And then Philly came on the board for the third time in the second round at 48, and they picked me. And before that pick, I was like, I mean, I in my back of my head, I was like, anything can happen. Like this could be me, this could not be me. But they already picked twice in the second round. I was still there at 48, and I wasn't surprised they picked me, and I probably would have been more surprised if they didn't take me. Um, but it was cool. Like I think it was probably it just feels like you're waiting there for a long time. In reality, like I probably wasn't. Like I think I was like the 16th pick in the second round. That was like the second round's on Saturday morning, so it was like early in the day. But that was cool. Like I knew Philly was up. I heard my name and I was like kind of just so happy that like because I just think Philly is a really good fit for me, and I was just happy that they ended up getting me.
Yeah. Um, you said you felt like the interview went well. Like what gives you that feeling? Just the conversation you had in there?
Yeah, the things that we were talking about weren't anything like to stand out, but I think it was more just like they just seemed like they had a lot of interest in me, and they seemed like they really knew me as a person and player more than I would have expected or more than some of the other teams would. And it seems like they had a lot of talks with my agent, and it seems like they kind of did their homework on me before that meeting, and they knew a lot about me, and it seemed to me that like I was a player of their interest, and they kind of before the combine they kind of went out and tried to get to know me and ask different people that I'm around, ask my coaches about who I am and what type of player I am and different things like that. But and then throughout the week after my interview, like I had some conversations with them just walking around like the hotel there in Buffalo, and it just seemed like they had interest in me.
All right. So you go to the development camp, and you listen. You get to get face to face. I'm sure you talk with Rick Tocchet, Daniel Briere, Keith Jones.
Yep.
Different people in the organization. How is that interaction? Because you're going to a great organization, man. Those are all great people who I just mentioned.
Yeah.
All of them have been on my podcast, the Camistrick podcast too. We had great conversations with all of them.
Yeah.
Love those guys, man. So you're fortunate to go to an organization like that. How was that week at Dev Camp?
It was awesome. I had a lot of fun there. Like, I mean, all their prospects, like by the end of the week, like I was super close with their whole prospect pool and everyone that was at camp. But it was cool. Like it seems like Philly's one of those organizations that does it right, and they kind of have an identity built around them. And I think that identity fits right into who I am and what I bring. So I kind of felt like I fit in there. But just like meeting all these guys and hearing from them and kind of seeing the practice facilities and even seeing the city of Philadelphia was pretty sweet.
Yeah, man. I mean, you play like a Flyer, Shane, you know? So you
Yeah.
got to be excited to put that orange and black on. Who like, were you a big Blues fan growing up? Like, who were your favorite players growing up here in St. Louis?
Yeah, I was a Blues fan. I liked like David Backus. Like I think everyone liked him in St. Louis. He was like he was one of my guys. Um, like I don't know. I've always like really started like once they won the cup is when I like really started to watch because they won the cup in 19, so I was 13 years. I was young. That was when they went on that run is kind of when I started to really follow and really kind of know the players. And ever since then, I've been like a big time Blues fan, but now probably a little bit more of a Flyers fan. But yeah, the Blues probably always be one of those teams that, it's your hometown team. You always kind of follow them and like them.
You know, all the guys you went to at the U.S. program, like, did you know a lot of kids before you got there? Like, did you face them? Like, remember facing them either in youth hockey or
Yeah.
spring tournaments, festivals, stuff like that? Does
Oh, yeah.
everybody kind of know each other now?
Yeah. Like before you go there, you play against each other and during the year and during the summer and you know the name, but you don't know who they are. And when you finally get to the program, you meet them and you get to know them as like a person. And I don't know, it all kind of comes together. But yeah, it's like, probably every kid's name going into or you've at least recognized everybody's name going into the program. And then when you get there, you really get to know them. And then by the end of your 2 years, you're like best friends with all of them. And I think every NTDP team grows so close together just because you just got the team, like you're there for 2 years. And when we didn't go to school there, we did online school at the rink. So it was just 24/7, like with the boys. And it was nothing but like good times and memories.
No school? You guys don't go to school? It's all online now?
Yeah. So like so they used to go to high school for like half a
Right.
day. They used to go to like the Northville or Plymouth High School, but then COVID happened and then they moved all the kids online. And then now I think I guess the online worked and it was efficient and easy
Yeah.
to kind of control. And you do it at the rink. So it's like everyone's in one spot. And I guess that's what they're rolling with now. And when I was there, that's what they did.
Perfect. All right, before I let you go, like, what do you tell like your buddies like when they ask you about St. Louis hockey? They're like, "You're from St. Louis." Like, what do you what are you telling them about St. Louis hockey and just your experience like growing up playing AAA hockey for the Blues and whatnot here in St. Louis?
Yeah. Well, I mean, as much as it is like St. Louis, it's growing, but it's still like compared to some of these other markets like Chicago and Detroit, it's still like a small hockey market. And you don't see a lot of kids coming out of St. Louis. Really a ton like compared to some of the other big time, markets. But we had I feel like St. Louis is kind of the blue collar city. Like I know my team was like we were big, like we were a big AAA team. Um, and I think like even like the fans of St. Louis, like people who play hockey in St. Louis and like the Blues fans, I think everyone kind of just wants hockey to be played hard. Like we're kind of just like a hard nosed city, and we like thinking back to that time when we won the cup in 19 and the Blues won the cup, like that was just a hard physical hockey team. And I think the fans and people of St. Louis appreciated that. So I don't know. I think that's kind of the rep St. Louis gets, but I mean, I'm proud to be from St. Louis. I'm proud. Like I love going home for the 2 months that I can in the summer and just like catching up with my old buddies. But I mean, it's growing. Like St. Louis hockey's growing. And it's cool to see.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. You're growing. Are you still like what are you at 6'2"? Are you at 210? That's what they have you listed at.
Yeah.
What do you want to play at? And what are the Flyers telling you? They want you to be at like 220, 225
Yeah.
or what?
Yeah, but we haven't really got to those conversations yet with the Flyers. But yeah, like I mean, last year I was 6'2.5", 6'3", playing at like 215.
Okay. You're still growing, buddy. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I think I'll the weight fluctuates, right? It always
Oh yeah.
goes up or down depending on whatever's
Yeah.
going on. But
Depending on how many brownies you eat, buddy, from the
I gotta
snack
scout that
shack.
right?
I love it. Hey man, I'm happy for you. Keep it going. Have a great year this year, and I look forward to seeing you wherever your hockey career takes you. This won't be the last time you come on the show either. We'll have to bug you again one of these days, and always look forward to catching up with you, Shane. So, thanks, brother. I appreciate it, man. Congrats on everything.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Okay, take care. All right, so that was Shane Vansaghi, man. Again, he was such a good player growing up. I coached 1 year with Anthony Capoletti, who was the head coach, and we had Shane on the team. It was the U16 year, the year before he left for the U.S. program. And you knew he was on the radar for the U.S. program because they were always at the games and talking to his agent, Jeff Boston, at the time. You just kind of knew that was his path. And I'm not surprised to see him having success, man. I mean, this guy is the real deal. And he's committed. He's into it. He loves it. And you can tell he's one of those guys that's going to be willing to do whatever they ask him to do to play. You know, I mean, he was an offensive guy growing up, scored a lot of goals, obviously, and he can still do that. I think he had 6 goals his freshman season, so he'll improve on those numbers this year. And again, he's just going to be a big power forward that's going to be able to impact the game in a variety of different ways. So big shout out to Shane Vansaghi, man. How cool was he? Joining us here on Hockey Sense, brought to you by First Community. Also by Frontenac Detailing. I mean, you should see my car right now. I just had that ceramic coating done on my car. Jim Winkleman flat out getting it done. The best detailer in America resides right here, right inside that Honda Frontenac location right there at Lindbergh and Conway. And Frontenac Detailing has a spot inside the Honda Frontenac dealership. You got to give them a call today, 314-226-7411. They do everything. Like window tinting, yeah, all that type of stuff. Ceramic coatings, like I said, they just did. But like things that a lot of other detailers won't do, like headlight restoration. They do the premium detailing, paint correction, of course, dents and hail damage. They'll take care of that. Torn seats, burn holes. You have burn holes on your seats. Somebody doing something they shouldn't have been doing in the car. They created a burn hole. Take it to Jim. They repair it all inside and out. FrontenacDetailing.com. That's the website. 5-star choice for automotive appearance. And you want that 5-star automotive appearance. Again, 314-226-7411. Jim Winkleman, man, tell him I sent you. Andy Strickland from Hockey Sense. Of course, First Community brings us Hockey Sense each and every week. We love our friends over there at First Community with all the different options they have. They got that Little Blues program too, so always check that out. I can't do a show without talking about Little Blues. So if you're between the ages of 4 and 9, you've never played organized hockey, listen up. This is where you do it. You sign up for Little Blues, you get all your equipment. I'm talking everything, head to toe, skates, everything, helmet. So if you're a parent and you're like, I don't even know where to go to buy the hockey equipment, what I need, you don't have to worry about that. You just sign up. You get, I think, 6 ice times, great instruction, and it's such a low cost and it's such a low investment, but it could be a lifetime investment. Because if your kid falls in love with the game, who knows? They could be Shane Vansaghi. But even if they're not, they're going to have a lifetime of experience and memories going to the rink and playing the incredible game of ice hockey. Get your son or daughter signed up for Little Blues today. FirstCommunity.com, StLouisBlues.com. Everybody can give you all the information you need for Little Blues. First Community, they're so proud to be involved with Little Blues. That's what I love about it, too. This is so genuine. Such a great program. Check it out. The only way, the best way to get started in hockey is with Little Blues from First Community. Of course, Dirt Cheap Fun Fun, your one-stop party shop. Don't sleep on their party goods. Get the Dirt Cheap today. All your party supplies. If you're having back-to-school parties, anything like that, still backyard barbecues, get everything you need from Dirt Cheap Fun Fun, your one-stop party shop. Blue Note Roofing, David Novak, 314-920-5713. Roofing, siding, gutters, soffit, fascia, whatever you had, storm damage, let him come give you a free estimate. He'll take care of you. Again, 314-920-5713. Blue Note Roofing, baby. David Novak. We've got a lot of other great stuff for you as well. JerseyGenerator.com. That's who made this jersey. You want to make a jersey, you can go to Jersey Generator. But we appreciate everybody for their help here on this edition of Hockey Sense. Again, this was done on a Wednesday, so if something comes out on Thursday or Friday morning, we apologize. I'm not anticipating it, but you never know. The schedule came out today. Hope to see everyone at the rink this year, and look forward to being back on the road. And again, look forward to working with Chris Kerber, Joe Vitale. I'm going to miss my good buddy, John Kelly. This guy is an incredible human being. What a mentor he's been for me personally, and we'll always be friends, man. And it's going to be tough not having John around, but he'll land somewhere. I can almost guarantee that. And I'm excited about this new venture with the St. Louis Blues and FanDuel entering into a new world of a simulcast and working with great new people and bringing a little bit of a different flair, a little bit of a different feel to the broadcast than maybe what we've had the last few seasons. It already feels different. I love working with these people from FanDuel. They've been unbelievable. Innovative thinkers, experienced, professional. They are the real deal. And along with the Blues, like, they're going to make sure this product that you see on television is as good as you've ever seen it. So trust me on that. This is going to be a lot of fun coming up this season. Get the big boy, the Hall of Famer Chris Pronger, involved. Obviously, Bernie Federko, the Hall of Famer. Jamie Rivers, who's got a ton of experience and obviously been around the game forever. Can't wait to get going. October 9th at home against Minnesota. A lot of home games in October before we start hitting the road. And this team's going to be good. New uniforms, new feel. Jim Montgomery, first training camp, first full season. Jimmy Snuggerud, first training camp. He's never even had a training camp with the Blues. And then you get to see Justin Carbonneau and all these other guys that are going to be coming through. Adam Yurasek, get him healthy, get him participating in preseason games. I can't wait to get going, and certainly appreciate all of your support. We go year-round on Hockey Sense, just like we do on the Cam and Strick podcast, which just dropped Tyler Myers yesterday on Tuesday. So check out the newest episode of the Cam and Strick podcast. Everything done right here at Half Coast Studios. We love everybody here, including Maddie, who's hooking us up and helping us out here on this edition of Hockey Sense. I'm headed out of town for a few days, a little vacation. We'll be back next week for another edition of Hockey Sense. We go year-round. Hockey Sense, year-round, Cam and Strick podcast. Have a great rest of your week, everybody.